Time now for sports on 104.7 The Cave. Here's Ned Reynolds.
Mike, the intern, Ned Reynolds, in the studio Monday morning, and life is good because preseason baseball kicked off late last week into the weekend. I know the Cardinals played Saturday. Royals got a game in on Friday and yesterday, so it's already back to work. And we still going to make any moves here before the season starts?
In my opinion, not anytime soon. A flurry of activity on the news media. In fact, one of the news items had Arenado traded. Arenado traded to the Houston Astros. I think, really? Boy, that happened quick. Well, you're reading the story, and it didn't happen. It was being discussed. Well, the Cardinals later said, well, we're exploring possible moves. We've been exploring them all winter long, and no, there's nothing new and all that. It's typical media jumping to the conclusion. But the fact of the matter remains, Arenado, who did not play in yesterday's game and probably isn't going to play in all of the preseason games, doesn't have to. He's a pretty doggone good player to begin with. He sat on the bench, and as a result of his inactivity, there were more rumors that came around, but no, I don't think so. Not in the immediate future. Nothing's going to happen.
So how are we looking? I know it's still preseason, but I know the Royals because those are my guys. They've been getting dubs, but that don't mean nothing until opening day.
No, it does not. And the Royals have a history of playing very well in spring training. They did last year, in addition to what they're doing now, which is 3-0. Start with the Cardinals, who got belted by the Houston Astros 11-6 yesterday, but it's a little bit misleading because 9 of the 11 runs that Houston scored came off one pitcher, a kid named Sam Robersa, who came to the Cardinals a couple of years ago from the Toronto Blue Jays. He's Dutch. He was born and raised in the Netherlands, but developed pretty good baseball skills, throws the ball hard. Cardinals got him from the Toronto Blue Jays in exchange for Jordan Hicks. And Robersa was down here a little bit last year. Well, he got into the game and gave up 9 runs in 2/3 of an inning. That doesn't usually earn for yourself a place on the roster. Anyway, it was the Astros 11 and the Cardinals 6. The Royals continued to win, knocked off the Chicago White Sox 4-3 out in Arizona. The Royals are 3-0 in spring training. Nothing new. They start out well, but this year a little bit different because Kansas City is a pretty good baseball team.
Last but not least, we did have our college baseball teams, at least the local guys. They had some action this weekend too, didn't they?
The Bears were down in Starkville, Mississippi to take on former national champion Mississippi State and a team that's ranked 18th in America this year. Bears were actually, it's a little misleading, they lost all 3 games, but they were in all 3 games. Friday, the Bears led 1-0 into the 8th inning. The pitcher had Mississippi State completely stymied, and they took him out because this is not a conference game. It's important, of course, but it's not a conference game. Took him out, and the relief corps could not hold on, and Mississippi State won 3-1. In Saturday's game, the Mississippi State Ball Club rallied late in the game to win it by a score of 9-3. Yesterday, Mississippi State had a 6-0 lead going into the 9th inning. Bears rallied for 4 runs and had the tying run on first base. Couldn't quite get it home. So as a result, Missouri State loses all 3 games, go to Oral Roberts in Tulsa tomorrow to play. That's a little bit more at their level. Mississippi State could have been beaten, just isn't quite in the psyche yet of the Bears to get it done. Now, Drury had a pair of games with Grand Valley State from up in Michigan. The games were here in town at Meadow Park. Grand Valley State won yesterday's doubleheader, and those teams will play again today in a Monday doubleheader.
So, college basketball this weekend, how do our local guys do?
Well, it was a struggle for the Bears, as it has been all year long. Missouri State's just a really frustrating team. They have good talent. They have players who can play. But their psyche, Mike, is that they do not know how to win. And there is a technique to knowing how to win. Having the confidence in yourself to do the right things at the right time. Well, the Bears don't have that. As a result, they lost to Illinois State 70-68 on a last-second shot. So the Bears' struggles continue. Missouri State is locked into last place in the conference this year. When they go to the tournament, the Bears will be the 12th seed of 12 teams. And there's no way out of it now. The Lady Bears, on the other hand, won both games over the weekend, and both of them were overtime. Beat Northern Iowa in overtime on Friday, beat Drake in overtime on yesterday, and hey, this team's pretty good. The Lady Bears are now number 1 in the Missouri Valley Conference. If they go ahead and win the Valley Tournament coming up in a couple of weeks in Evansville, The Lady Bears will be in the NCAA tournament, and they are deserving of it. They're a very good basketball team. Drury went up to Bolivar, played Southwest Baptist on Saturday afternoon, and the Panthers and Lady Panthers took the doubleheader. Lady Panthers winning in first, and the Panthers winning in second. So a couple of victories for the Drury University teams.
Got a chance to talk about this last week, but it was announced the preliminary salary cap for the NFL would be a lot higher than they thought, and I think, again, we have Taylor Swift and her fans to thank for that.
Well, it's probably going to be about $280 million, and that'll be a big help to some teams. With the Kansas City Chiefs, of course, it's not going to hurt them, but the help is only marginal because it's only going to raise their cap space by about between $4 and $5 million. They go from 4 to about 8. And that's not a whole lot of money to spend on free agents. They know that, but the fact of the matter remains they have some key individuals on that team who have to be signed, Nick Bolton being one of them, Trey Smith being one of them. They're just key individuals there, and they may not get it done because these guys, what they might do, Mike, is explore the free agent market and let them establish a marketability for themselves and then come back. The Chiefs will have that advantage. They can re-sign these guys, but it may be a while, and I don't think there's going to be any Chiefs franchise player this year that's just simply too expensive for them. But they don't need it. I think it's still a good team, and we'll find that out.
It always is going to be a good team, my friend, because I bleed red and gold to the day I die. Last but not least, after Daytona 500 2 weeks ago, they come right back with an incredible race in Atlanta yesterday.
Rex strewn all throughout the race, and the guy who wins it, Christopher Bell, started in 32nd place. He was way in the back of the pack, and he was there for much of the race. But then all of a sudden, many of the leaders spun out or got involved in wrecks and so forth and so on. As a matter of fact, the final lap of the race, which was in overtime, ended under the caution flag, and Christopher Bell gets the win. So it's a big win for him. He's had 10 of them in his career, I should say, in NASCAR. And in the final run around the lap, he gets the victory, and that's a big win for Christopher Bell.
Ned, don't do any racing today. I'll see you tomorrow.